Hey everybody, this is Frank from Hookup Baits. We're here to show you how to use the Mendit that we're providing for you guys to repair your baits. There's a few things why we're using this Mendit now is because we don't make replacement bodies as of yet, but we may in the near future. But this is basically to save you guys some money and keep you guys fishing. So we've got some normal tears that happen to these baits that are common everyday use. And we're going to show you how to repair those and keep you guys on the water. So most of the tears that happen are basically around the hook and around the eye of the head and here from hitting on the rocks, and you get a lot of the bass fuzz. Those are your primary ones that happen fishing hookup baits on a daily basis. You can see this one here has a rip in the head. And so what we recommend you guys do is take the body off the head to make sure that it's at a resting state, because once you apply the Mendit, it'll start to tear right away. So what you want to do is slowly take this off without popping the eyes off. And what you'll do is you'll lay this thing down right next to the head. Key is you want to keep the body that you just pulled off with the same head that you just took it off of. That way you know it goes to that one. You can see where the eyes have been cut already. It's already been tuned. And that's the reason why we don't make replacement bodies, is because of these extra things that we do to it. We tune it to make it swim the way they do. So you want to make sure you take it off. Take your Mendit. On rips like this, you want to be a little bit more generous, but you want to open the cut a little bit and make sure that Mendit gets on both sides of that cut. Don't be shy about using it. Be liberal with it. That way you can get a nice clear coat on it and a solid bond. And it takes about 15 to 20 minutes for this to settle in. So like I said, you want this thing to kind of just be touching back to its original state, and then give it a little bit of gloss over it. That way it'll bond it nice and solid. Okay, there's also some bass fuzz on here that we'll try and get rid of. Okay, make sure you're in a well ventilated area. The fumes do get a little heavy, but that's nothing bad. One tip is don't blow on it. Don't use a fan. Don't do it in a windy area. What ends up happening is it'll lose the clearness of it. It'll end up clouding up, and it takes away from the quality of the bait. Okay, so we're gonna let this sit for a little bit, and we'll move on to the next one. Sometimes you don't have to take the bait off of the jig, off the jig head. You can repair it on there, but if there's a split, you'll want to take it off, because then that's when it'll open up once you apply the Mendit. This one here, there's the rip just around the hook. You can fix this one while it's still on there. So while this one's curing, we'll go ahead and fix the other bait right now. And like I said, you want to get inside there, get in between the cut. Okay. And then drop a heavy coat on top, kind of smooth out this bass fuzz, give it that glossy look again. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to look better than what it was when it just came off the water. And for you guys that fish the cattle boats like I do, you can fish these while they're on. You can fix them while they're on the water. Don't do it while the boat's moving outside on the deck. When they're moving spots, take that damaged bait off. Take your Mendit, go down it in the galley, and fix it. Normally it's like a 10 to 15 minute move, depending on how far they plan on moving. And as you can see, I'm getting pretty liberal with it. Okay. And we'll let that one sit. Okay, maybe even give it a little bit on the underside, and then I'll let you guys can see it afterwards. But let it sit, and then by the time you make that stop and they set the anchor, you're ready to fish that bait again. Now this one here, the split's on the head, so you're gonna want to take this completely off, because otherwise, like I said, this will split wide open. So just give it a pinch, get it past the eye of the hook. All right, be careful not to pop the eyes off the jig, but just inch it past that eye of the hook. Okay, this guy's off, and wherever you had that cut, open it up a little bit. Get that Mendit in there. Okay, make it nice and thick. Just get it in there. Same thing on the top where that other split was. Get it there on top and give it a nice solid coat on all the way around to get rid of some of that bass fuzz. And you can see already that bass fuzz is going away. Okay. The one good thing about Mend It is that it won't ruin your clothes. It won't ruin your furniture. When it dries, it just rolls right off. All you gotta do is just rub your fingers or just pull it off. As you can see, I got some on the table right here. All you do is go like that, and it'll just ball up. All right, so we've taken this one and we've started putting that one together. So what the bass fuzz is, if I didn't explain it before, the teeth on the bass start to rub on these baits, and they start to make this. They make these little, they're like rasps, and so they make it all uneven. You can see where it's all coming up, and it looks all rough, and it kind of takes away from the prettiness of the bait and the attractiveness. So, as you can see, when we did the last on the Mend It, it's kind of coated some of that, and I can show you real quick on this one again. If you just take a nice heavy coat, it'll fill in all those gaps and make it look all clear again, which helps attract the fish back to this bait. Okay, so we'll let that cure a little bit. So it's been a few minutes since we did the last bait. That was a pretty big tear, but as you can see, the bait is still soft. It's not hard like if you were to use super glue. It's not hard. It doesn't keep it make a hard spot where it'll rip outside of that if you get bit again. But you can see the bait's still elastic. The cut is fixed. I'd let it cure for a little bit longer, but this is not super glue. I could put it on my fingers and it's not going to stick. Okay, if anything, it's almost dry and it's starting to come off already, but you just rub your fingers together and it's gone. But it's not like super glue. It won't stick to your fingers, it won't turn the bait white, and it won't make a hard spot where you'll get extra tension where that originally split. Okay, so now that that's back to normal, or better than it was, what we do is to put it back on the head, we'll take some of our scent, our garlic scent, and I'd like to take the top off and just squeeze it out a little bit and put some on the head. That way when you go to put it back on the body, it's not sticking and causes it to tear again. So what you want to do is open up the tail end, work it in a little bit, and then just slowly slide it in there. Give it a little pinch to get it over the eye of the hook, and you'll find that eye where it was before. Okay, and now your bait's ready to rock and roll. Okay, sometimes it takes more than one coat to fix your bait, depending on how bad the damage is, but you can see this one's already ready to go, still soft. And then same thing with this little guy. This little guy had the split in the head. That looks like it's all gone. And I like to let it sit. Sometimes I let it sit overnight, like I said, depending on how bad the damage is, just to make sure that it's fully cured. But you can slide this guy back on, find out where the hole was from the eye of the hook, and there you go. So those are our ways to fix them. Keynotes again: don't do it in the windy areas, don't do it in the fan, don't blow on it, it'll cause it to cloud up. This will help you save some money. If your bait gets ripped and you can still salvage it, take it off, throw a new bait on, keep fishing, and then fix this when you get a chance when you get home. I typically do 15 to 20 baits at a time. By the time I'm done with, when I do the first one till I get to the last one, that first one's ready to go, and I can put all those old baits back on my rods and then put my new ones back on my box before they rip again. So you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and if you got any questions, you can always submit emails to hookupbaits.com. We're here to help you guys catch more fish. Thank you guys for your support, and we'll see you guys on the water.